Hello. I wanted to talk about a few things. I want to talk about Antifa, what I feel they're doing right, what I feel they're doing wrong, same with the militias, and their show of force that they recently did in Virginia and in other places, and how I feel it's not going to accomplish anything, either of them actually. But, and I want to, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about, when I'm talking about police violence and stuff, I just watched a video which I'll put in the link in the description if I can figure it out. It happened in Texas fairly recently, and my point of view, like a story of something that recently, well, not recently, several years back, happened here in Pennsylvania. Now, but I'm going to try to keep it short as possible. First, I want to talk about equal protection under the law. Now, when this Frayne incident, Eric Frayne, which he was found guilty of shooting and killing one police officer, wounding another in a sniper attack. And the police, the state police just went insane. They closed down this area because I happen to live in the same area. They did illegal searches through houses, through property. They held my 4-year-old son, he was 4 at the time, at gunpoint. And it unnecessary, illegal, all of it. And the FBI was with them most of the time. So you want to talk about criminals? Eric Frayne, he shot 2 police officers. He was found guilty of it. But these people, they were the real threat to my family. Eric posed no threat to my family, but these cops holding my son at gunpoint and illegally searching our property, that was a clear and present danger. That was a threat to my family. I moved to this side of the country to get away. I lived on the West Coast. I moved over here to get away from that kind of stuff, and tell you, it's the same everywhere. They're the same. It doesn't matter where in the country you go, they're all the same. And that's why, this flag, I'm gonna start with this. Don't really care much for them. And I have my reasons. So now that brings me to Antifa. Now I'm going to flash up a few pictures. I don't fully understand Antifa. Like, they're talking about being anti-fascist, and they hold up, signs with a swastika and a line through it, but yet they're waving a sign with a hammer and sickle. So I really, really do not understand them. Because government control and squashing human rights, people's rights, it doesn't matter if it's socialism, communism, it all ends the same way. People dying, people having their rights taken away from them, starving people, and eventually violence in the street. But what I have to say they do have right is, partially, is some of their tactics. Okay, they all dress in the same color, black, face covered. Makes it harder for them to be picked out later when they're doing what they're doing. I don't agree with random violence. I mean, if you're gonna throw down, have a game plan. Go into the town, cut the power, have specific targets. I mean, if you, like, say this video that I have a link to, if you're going into a town like that, the mayor's wronged you, the police have wronged you, kick them out of the town. You know, run them out, burn them out, just make them leave. I don't understand this random violence thing. Which brings me to, I'm in an enclosed room and I sprayed this. Might not have been the wisest thing to do. But anyway. Now when the militias go in for like their show of force, protesting gun control laws and stuff, they just go in armed, stand around, don't do anything. Nothing at all. And the police know that that's what's going to happen. In most situations, they know that's what's going to happen. And slowly, our rights are being chipped away. And people talk about Second Amendment safe zones and stuff. That's a joke, because this country, we are governed. Government exists because we allow it to exist. We, the people, put government there to protect our rights, to ensure that we have our right to bear arms, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to own property without it being seized or stolen from us. Yet, it's happening all around us. And all you do is vote for more people that are going to do it anyway. They're going to go in there and they're not going to help. They're just, I just do a few years and I get a pension for the rest of my life. Let's do this. And they end up folding. They end up conforming to the elite. And then they have the police here. That is their firepower. They're holding us at gunpoint, saying you're going to deal with it. You're going to take it. And Antifa at least has the balls to stand up and fight. They're not very efficient at it. Obviously, you need a plan, but at least have the balls to do something other than stand around and say, hey, I've got a gun, try to take it away. We have the Second Amendment to protect our rights. And the government that we put in power to protect those rights, when they start violating it, they violate their oath, they're no longer necessary. They're no longer legitimate, period. And that's what I believe Antifa has right and the militias have wrong. At what point do you actually stand up and fight? Is it after they've disarmed you and they're throwing you in re-education camps? Or do you just sit by and watch as they go door to door, one person at a time, imprison them, take their weapon? You know, at what point is enough enough? That's my question, which leads me to now, as for this incident in Texas, I mean, this man was being tortured by the police, literally tortured. He had committed no crime, and nothing will be done. Nothing will be done about it. The governor, the mayor, FBI, nobody, because they're all in on it. He's an example. They want to use people like him as an example. What happens when you cross us, when you demand your rights, when you want your property back that's supposed to be returned to you. They not only didn't give it to him, they took more from him. That's where we're at. Victory. They don't have the power. We are like back in the day when you went to circus and stuff, they had an elephant, a big, huge elephant. with a little tiny peg in the ground and a thin little rope holding its leg. But that elephant never pulled free. You know why? Because from childhood, when that elephant was a baby, they put a big old fat chain around its ankle. They hammered it into the ground, and that baby elephant would fight and fight and tug and tug. And finally, when that elephant quit struggling, they just put a little thin rope on it. They didn't need the chain anymore. They trained it to just give up, to submit. And that's where we're at. We have been trained to submit and to accept things the way they are. I mean, huff and puff and pretend and convince ourselves that all we have to do is win an election. All we have to do is win a vote. Oh, if we show up and show them that we mean business, they'll stop doing what they're doing. Has it worked? Is it going to work? I mean, quite frankly, look up the definition of insanity. Look at what you've been doing. Tell me, who's crazy? Till next time.